Let's go. There's more chairs. There's a chair right there.
So our presentation is about media and its influence on the public's opinion. To start off with, there's a historical background that is very important to the media deception and slander. It's yellow journalism. What yellow journalism is, it started off back in the 1890s during the Spanish-American War, and famous people that are noted for it are William Randolph Hearst and John Pulitzer. They're both newspaper owners and editors, and they would sell these really dramatic stories to the American public, and it would kind of push America into the war with Spain. Yellow journalism has things like it makes up its own events, it's sensationalized with exaggerated tales. It uses melodrama, romance, and hyperbole in the news, and it usually has sensationalist headlines, which are the key hook in driving people in to read the newspapers. How the yellow journalism, the term got started was in a comic in the New York World, I believe, or it was one. It was John Pulitzer's own newspaper, and he had a comic called Hogan's Alley, and there was a character named the Yellow Kid, which was done by artist R.F. Outpolt, and the William Randolph Hearst, he stole Outpolt from Pulitzer and made his own comic with his own Yellow Kid, and it became a competition between the two in the 1890s, and it's where the term yellow journalism came from. Also, an example during the Spanish-American War was the sinking of the battleship Maine, which Pulitzer blamed Spain for, but he had no evidence to support that claim, but people still bought into it.
Okay. So, which associated with media and yellow journalism is media warfare, which in the Vietnam War was used highly to persuade American citizens against the support of the war, and it kind of starts off with America's like war strategy, which is their strong nationalism, and the media targeted their nationalism by reporting the true horrors and corruption of the Vietnam War. Like, for example, on CBS, Walter Cronkite posted, well, at the time, he was considered the most trusted man in America. And so whenever he had said that that the Tet Offense, after the Tet Offense in the Vietnam War, which was where the North Vietnamese would go an all-out attack against South Vietnamese, once he had stated that that offensive was going to happen, pretty much nearly half of Americans drew their support from the war, and it really persuaded many that the war was not right and that there was corruption going on. And they also, even though what made it so important was that the Tet Offense was actually a turning point for the war for the U.S., but the media made it seem like it was a huge downfall for the U.S. And there's also a photo that was posted by the media of the general, one of the South Vietnamese generals who executed a Viet Cong civilian during the war, and it's caught on camera and photographed, and it persuaded a lot that the war, there was corruption going on between the South Vietnamese government and their military officials, and that the war was never going to end. The final turning point for the U.S., though, was when the media got a photograph from the University of Kent State, and it was of two college protesters getting, one was actually shot and murdered and by a National Guard of the U.S., and the photograph was taken of the girl standing over or kneeling over the guy who was on the ground bloody. But that after that photo was leaked, the Pentagon Papers was also leaked, which was a huge factor in the Vietnam War, since that was like one of the first ever leakage of official governmental papers, which show the actual real number of the casualties going on in Vietnam, as well as the lost military battles that were never officially reported. And all these things, all these factors kind of like alternated the opinion of the American view of the Vietnam War, and the media is the main cause of this transformation.
One example today of illegal journalism is that of Tiger Woods, and he was accused of having multiple affairs with his mistresses, and this questioned his morality, and the media kind of blew up the scandal and made it seem like he had been cheating on his wife for years with his mistresses, but they don't have any evidence of that. They only have evidence of one account of him cheating with his mistress, but they made it seem like it was an ongoing thing and that he's some sex addict at that. And they even interviewed sex counselors to make it seem like he was doing the wrong thing.
Right. Some things that Tiger Woods was affected by with this event that was popularized in the media for months was that they questioned to take away his trophies from him, and then his scoring in the golf league, which he was at number one, before the accusations came out. He actually dropped a significant amount in the league, and his children were even harassed by the media, where they were like 3 or 4 years old, and they were being asked about his mistresses, and then they were 3 and 4 years old, so they weren't accountable.
Okay, so along with the Tiger Woods yellow journalism case, they tried to question the golfer's morality, but in reality, what golfer needs morality? Like, it's whenever you want to talk about how the media portrays a person, they always go to like their morals to like make them seem like they're a bad person, and that you shouldn't view them in the same way that you viewed them previously, even after something that what many consider to be morally incorrect has nothing to do with why you watched him and liked him in the first place.
Another recent example is the Trayvon Martin case. Just recently, a Texas student drew a cartoon that said, the caption was, "And then the big bad white man killed the young, sweet, innocent colored boy." This produced an image that the white man was just a cold-hearted murderer, instead of it being both ways. Like, it created an image that the white boy or the colored boy had, he couldn't be blamed. After this, all white men were categorized as bad people, and you should watch out for the neighborhood watch people as of George Zimmerman. Can you hear the next slide? George Zimmerman was attacked by all kinds of media, by all races. It was so bad where after he was found not guilty, he was unable to be let go because of death threats, because of the image that media produced for him. So this shows yellow journalism and how they manipulated the image of the white man and the colored man.
Trial for both Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman's image. You hear from Walter how it says the big bad white man, but George Zimmerman is actually Hispanic American, and so he's even like if you look at him, he's not white, but how the media said it in the news was that he was a white Hispanic, which is politically incorrect, and how they would show Trayvon Martin is that they would show a picture of Trayvon Martin in the news, but it was a couple years old back when he was about 14. So they would try to only show Trayvon Martin as this cute, young, innocent little boy that was unarmed, and as George Zimmerman as a racist, which he actually comes from a multicultural background and has black neighbors that are close friends with his.
Along with the pictures that were taken of Trayvon Martin, yeah, you constantly see the pictures of him with his hoodie on and how he would be like literally years before the actual scene or event. There was reports that Trayvon Martin, around the time when he was murdered, that he had gold teeth and
He was suspended from school.
He was suspended from school at the time.
He was in school at the time he was murdered.
And at the same time, he was also supposed to be associated with gang violence in the area and other such activities.
This affected public opinion as there was many social movements where people started wearing hoodies, they started buying Skittles and Arizona teas, which were honest persons at the time, and that you would see many pictures of young African American children saying, "Well, I be the next Trayvon Martin." So it deeply affected the public opinion because it came to a national
It
attention.
did.
This also caused controversy with the recent case of Jordan Davis, who was also shot and killed by he was shot and killed by a white man, but what made it so what made it so controversial is that there was so much debate about the George Zimmerman case and how he was a white Hispanic man, yet he, like Troy said, that he had black neighbors and he was of multiracial descent. So whenever there was a real white man shooting a real black child, that was, it kind of caused a way more of a controversy in the media, and it gained popularity very rapidly due to the already controversial Trayvon Martin case.
For our activity, we're going to do our own example of yellow journalism and obscure headlines. These are three contestants, Ivy, and Braxton. How is it going to work?
Thing 1, thing 2, thing 3.
Can we get a round of applause for our audience?
If y'all are done with it, y'all can just unplug the back of it, the black thing. You can just unplug it if you'd want. Are y'all going to use that anymore? Are you going to show the Florida or fake at all?